That's what I think. Green flag means you're good to go. Yellow, like you got 15 seconds left.
Oh, the card.
I think so. And then red means stop.
I don't think I have that much to say.
No, I was going to say I'm getting a lot of green. What it's for, but
29 candidates have shown up in Mineral County tonight. Isn't that amazing? But I do want to introduce everybody to our moderator for tonight. This is Dan Rowan. Dan is a very, very good friend of mine. Well, he was until I asked him to do this at least. I don't know if we're still going to be friends after tonight. But Dan is actually a sitting commissioner in Sanders County. Are you still board chair? Or did you force somebody else to do it? Okay. And he's also a retired mayor of Plains. So this is Dan Rowan. Let's go ahead and thank him for being here with us tonight.
I told Anna that if no one else stepped forward, I would do this. I'm not sure how hard she looked after that. But anyway, glad to see such a good turnout. This is a lot of candidates. So with the time allotted, I think it will move fairly quick. The rules as I've been given them and understand them by your hosts is 2-minute introductions for every candidate sitting here in front of you. After that, there are debate questions that they came up with. I think some of them maybe by email, some of the postcards when you came in, perhaps. And again, Anna, if I get out of line, she's gonna kick me. I believe it's 30-second response to the question per race, and then a 15-second rebuttal and a 15-second final on those individual questions. And then we will go race by race. So that is how I understand it. I guess with as many candidates as there is, and I'll try to hold this closer if I'm not doing well enough, someone will tell me. If you guys could, as much as possible, I know we all get excited about our individual candidates that we're supporting, but if you could limit your applause, catcalling, things like this, it would be helpful so that we can hear from all the candidates here tonight. I don't anticipate anything getting out of hand, but I am thankful that we have Mineral County Sheriff's Office deputies here. Thank you for coming. Again, don't anticipate any problems, but thankful that they're coming to assist. And did I forget anything? With that, I think we will hand the mic over to the first gentleman on the row here. Please stand up, say who you are and what position you are running for, and give the 2 minutes. Also, I forgot to mention, we have timekeepers right up front, and I believe if I understand right, they are going to give a 30-second warning, a 15-second warning, and you're out of time warning. And so the other thing is, please be courteous, talk about why you're running. This is not a time to bash your opponents. Say that for Facebook later when you get home. Let's try to have a good, let's hear from the candidates, hear why you're running and what you want to do.
Thank you. My name is Luke Holmes, running for Precinct in 30. Been in Superior, Mineral County for almost 3 years now, by way of Frenchtown. Get away from the big town. I'm running to hopefully preserve the small community feel and our morals.
My name is Mel Bird. Spent 11 years in the military and then 25 years as a police officer. And in early 2000s, we came up here to visit the wife's family. I saw Superior and I told her that's where I'm going to retire. So, been here ever since. That's about it. Oh, I'm sorry. We're running for man and woman of Precinct 25.
And I'm Kim Bird, his wife, and we've been here since 2014. And I was a school teacher, I was in the military, and I'm running for Precinct 25 woman.
My name is Fields Mitchell. I'm running for Precinct Committee Woman for Precinct 26, which is St. Regis area. Each precinct is a different area. And the reason why I'm running is I feel like it's an important part of our political process. I was the vice chair of the Republican Central Committee here in Mineral County for a few years. And I'm familiar with the process. I know what the job is. The job is to inform people of candidates that are running, to provide an objective view of these candidates in the Republican Party. As far as where I'm from, I live here now. I've been here since 2015. I'm a refugee from Washington State. No, I'm not bringing the politics of Washington with me. I am conservative. And that's about it.
Hi, my name is Ron White, and I'm running for Precinct 22, Precinct Man, and my lovely bride, Anna Marie, has been the precinct woman there for several terms now, and I have an opportunity to join her and serve alongside her, and it would be an honor and a privilege to serve with her. And yeah, I too understand the roles and responsibilities of the precinct person. Recently just attended an 8-hour training specifically on that topic. So yeah, I'm tired of sitting on the sidelines and wanting to get involved, and figured this would be the best way to do that. My wife and I own and operate White Horse Forestry, which is a forest management business, which includes timber harvesting, and we moved to Mineral County 9 years ago from the Bitterroot to be closer to the mill in St. Regis, and of course, you guys all know how that ended up. But we love Mineral County and the people in it, and we're committed to being here and trying to make a difference. We've got 3 girls who go to school here in Superior, 1 in high school and 2 in junior high, and been very involved, active member of the community as a youth soccer coach and that sort of thing. And yeah, one thing I will say real quick is a lot of people, I hear a lot of people talk about, I only vote in the general. I'm here to tell you, primaries matter, so get out June 2nd and vote Ron White, Precinct 22.
Good evening, my name is Jim Loman. I moved here in 1977, so I've been here ever since. I have got roughly 18 years on the Mineral County Weed District, roughly 20 years on the Mineral County Conservation District, and I think 9 or 10 years as a livestock 4-H leader in our 4-H program. So I'm deeply committed with this community, and I would appreciate the vote. Thank you. It's Precinct 30. Thank you. Precinct 30.
Hi, I'm Margaret Woman. I was born and raised here. I have been a Mineral County resident for a long time. I was only gone for a couple of years when I was very young, but otherwise I've lived here. I'm very committed to my county, my community. I'm going to say right up front, I'm not a radical politician, so you won't see me making nasty comments, or you won't see me calling names or any of that. I want to see good, clean politics, candidates, and the right people for the right jobs. And I've thought about this a lot since I was asked to run for this. And I volunteer, I've been a volunteer for 40 years in this community for one thing or another. I'm on the hospital board, I'm the county fire warden. So I do have a passion for what goes on in this county. And I'm running on Precinct 30. Thank you.
My name is Shane Macarino. Welcome everybody to Mineral County, and welcome Mineral County to Mineral County. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening to spend it here with us. I am running for Justice of the Peace, and I am also running for Precinct 30, woman. I believe that our county deserves a fair and firm and just justice of the peace. Thank you.
I thought I'd have a podium here, so. Good evening, I am Buffy Kelly, a longtime resident of Mineral County. I am running for Justice of the Peace because I believe our community deserves a strong, ethical leader who brings integrity, sound judgment, and fairness to the bench. Mineral County deserves a court that is impartial, professional, and grounded in facts. My education, work experience, deep community involvement have prepared me to serve in that role. I graduated from the University of Montana with a degree in history, political science, and secondary education with honors. I began my career as a children's case manager at Western Montana Mental Health Center. In that role, I worked closely with therapists, public defenders, probation officers, advocating for my clients in and out of the courtroom. That experience gave me a first-hand understanding of how our legal system impacts real people and families. I transitioned into business ownership to support my growing family. For the last 18 years, I've run a local insurance agency where I hold 2 securities licenses that are federally mandated and 3 insurance licenses here in Montana. During that time, I have always made it a priority to work for my community no matter what, even if that meant I would not be getting the business. My commitment to community extends beyond my career. I have served my Mineral County for a long time. I was on the Mineral County Community Foundation. I have coached soccer and what I would like to say tackle basketball. I also am the 4-H leader. I believe in this community. I understand our strengths and our challenges. As your Justice of the Peace, I will bring fairness, accountability, and compassion in every decision.
Good evening, I'm Kim Tarrant, your current Justice of the Peace, and I'm going to be running for JP as well. I believe that I am your best candidate, as I have the experience. The last 4 years, I have enjoyed representing this community, encouraging individuals who come to make sure that they're educated and informed when it comes to our justice system. I think it's important to be fair, to be just, and to ensure that each individual in our community has a voice and has an opportunity to be heard. I do believe that I am a fair, unbiased judge. I believe that I have the knowledge and experience to continue to represent Mineral County. I look forward to doing so. Justice has been a passion my whole life, started when I was 14 years old. I started to work for the Justice of the Peace at that point in Utah, where I grew up. I've been here in Mineral County since 2002, where we chose to raise our family, and now I'm getting to watch my grandkids grow up and be part of this community. And it is that desire to make sure that the justice is here, not only for the residents, but for the family that I have as well. I appreciate your time tonight. Look forward to some questions and getting to know you all more. Thank you for your time.
My name is Steve Reed. I'm a 4th generation Montanan out of Bozeman, Montana. Sorry, I'm really sorry about that. My wife's a Grizzly. She's over there. She's a man of Congress, so she can get even for you. My main focus here running for West End Commissioner is public safety, because the commissioners have the hands on the budget. We deal with who gets the money. I think we need to do something about our public safety for sure. Hopefully it'll come up here in a little while. We can talk about that. during that. The second one is housing, of course, is a big issue, and I've been working on some of that with Lieutenant Logie here the last couple of months. Even though I don't have the job, I come from the contracting business industry, and I know a lot about it. My fourth one is bringing some business, new ideas, tourism to this county, because the logging industry, the mill situation is probably not going to happen unless it's small mills, super high tech, not very many employees, but they do generate money. So the idea is we do really need to generate some more funds, some more tax money, property tax money to keep us going. Right now, I believe we have a $700,000 budget deficit, if I'm not mistaken, and we're always making and chasing money. I think we need to build this area to a point where people will come. Tourism is probably our best bet. It's been our playground for so many people here for so long that they're coming. I'm just telling you, they're coming to play. And some people are coming here to take away from us. In St. Regis alone, we've lost 4 businesses to out of state own it, and they don't care about community. My wife and I do. Wherever we've been, we've always built community, worked with the people that run the place, and we really appreciate being here in Yearville. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. I am Deborah Shepard, one of the candidates running for West End County Commissioner. I'm a lifelong resident of Mineral County. I have 2 beautiful daughters and 8 amazing grandchildren. I live outside of Superior with my wonderful husband, Craig. I can work independently, handling many projects and meeting deadlines. Organization and problem-solving skills are some of my greatest assets. Communication is one of my strong points. I have the ability to listen to the needs of others and interact effectively with all types of people. My objective is to provide West End and Mineral County residents a professional service in a team-based environment. I have many years' experience as a co-owner of successful businesses, and I am very passionate and take pride in every aspect of my life. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for coming to our candidate debate tonight. It's great to see our guests, all the guests that we have here, and they'll be participating in this debate also. My name is Dwayne Simons. I'm your West End District County Commissioner, and I am serving my 3rd term. I was born in Whitefish, Montana in 1955. I was raised in the beautiful Flathead Valley until my junior year in high school when I moved to St. Regis and started my logging career working for my dad, who had a logging road building company. My wife Donna and I both graduated from St. Regis in 1974, and we have been married for 51 years. We have 2 children, 3 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. I truly believe that the youth of our country are the greatest asset, and I support the best affordable education we can give them. I'm running for my 4th term as County Commissioner, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we do as commissioners. We oversee every department's budget. There are 13 departments, 71 employees on a bi-weekly payroll. We try to meet all the county needs while also trying to keep our budget equitable. I believe we have done a great job at that, especially when you consider how much land in the county is not taxable. I'm referring to U.S. Forest Service and state land. When re-elected, I will continue to stretch the county dollar to the max. We always keep our taxpayers in mind when we build our budgets, and a big reason for that is 60% of our population in Mineral County is now retired, and we try to maximize every dollar in our budget. The county budget is audited yearly by an independent auditor. For the last 3 years in a row, we have no findings. Now that's a big deal. We do good at that. We always try and keep the taxpayer in mind. We have around 100 people still employed in the woods. We have bark plant in Superior and post and pole plant in St. Regis. My dream as a commissioner is to bring a small modular mill back to Mineral County and employ as many of our younger generation as we can.
Thank you, Dwayne.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Roy Miller, and I am running for county attorney, and there's no one else running for county attorney. So, nice to meet you guys. My wife, Zoe, and I have been married for 27 years. We have a son, Duncan, who's graduating a degree in biochemistry and molecular biology in May. And our younger son, Nicholas, is majoring in applied mathematics and snowboarding at the University of Montana. We bought our home in 2023, and we are the most recent refugees from a state that shall not be named. You guys could probably guess. The reason I'm running for county attorney is I was asked to. I have experience for many years as a prosecutor in the state of California, prosecuting domestic violence, sexual assault, murder, you name it, in a small county called Lake County. And for California, 50,000 is a pretty small population. I then was in private practice for over 20 years, handling criminal defense and civil cases. I have handled family law cases. I practiced in state and federal court. I was asked to run for county attorney first because of the so-called Brady issue you guys may have been hearing about. And when I was told what was going on, I didn't believe it. Because in 30 years of practice, I've never heard of anything spiraling out of control the way it did. I did my research and reading, and it was crazy. So I'm going to be emphasizing communication with the Sheriff's Department, working to reduce the backlog of cases and ensure a just and safe criminal justice system for everyone. And in my spare time, I'll be going into the schools, talking to middle and high schoolers about the Constitution and leadership and the fact that our young people are our future. And that's something that's very, very important to me. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Ben Banks. I'm running for Sheriff Corner. I live in St. Regis and have moved there after completing 20 years in the Army. I have a 5-year-old and 8-year-old little girl keeping me busy, as well as a beautiful wife, Joanna, who's running the Moxie Market in St. Regis. I moved to Montana at 18 years old and got a scholarship with the University of Montana through their ROTC program. I graduated UM with a bachelor's in sociology criminology, and during that time I was a reserve deputy in Missoula County for about 3 years. From there, I commissioned it in the Army as a lieutenant, and shortly thereafter completed combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Shortly after that, I became a battery commander, and I had about 130 high-speed soldiers under my command. I made it to the rank of major, and I decided I didn't want to be a staff officer, so there was a program where you could become a federal law enforcement officer, and I took that. I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, with a population of about 250,000, and focused on felony level crimes such as homicide, deaths, and SVU crimes. I made it to the position of a supervisory special agent, and I had about 10 to 15 agents working for me. During my time in the Army, I have supervised 200 to 300 individuals. Once I retired here, I made it about 6 months through retirement before I decided I wanted to serve my community again. I worked for Mineral County Sheriff's Office for about 1.5 years before stepping away to DCI. I look forward to hopefully having the chance to serve you again. Thank you.
Hello everybody, good evening. Sorry I'm probably fairly loud, I could probably talk without this. My name is Ryan Funk, I'm your current Sheriff Corner, running for office, running for re-election. I have been a resident in Mineral County since 2018, when my family and I moved here. We built our forever home. My beautiful wife and I were blessed with a child shortly after we moved here. His name is Cash. He's probably the biggest blessing that one could ever ask for. I'm a 3rd generation born and raised Montanan, and Cash is 4th generation born and raised. And I think, you know, having that is like, I have Montana morals. I know what Montanans want, and I'll do everything I can to keep that true. believe I'm the longest employed person in the Mineral County Sheriff's Office. I've been here for over 8 years. We've seen a lot of turmoil. Everybody's had a lot of good bosses, a lot of bad bosses. I haven't ran from bad bosses. I've continued to stick it out because this community means a lot to me and means a lot to my family. I will be the only full-term sheriff in Mineral County in the last 10 years. That's appalling. That's appalling because people come into this office and they think it's easy. They think, oh, anybody can do this. Day-to-day operations, not a big deal. But when you run through budgets and throw some elbows with the commissioners every once in a while, it's a struggle. Main thing is provide public safety, and that's what I've done. I've worked hundreds of hours of overtime trying to fill shifts. I guess I'm done. I guess I could talk forever. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeff Stanek and I'm running for House District 90. I was born on the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, and I would later serve in Afghanistan as part of the 375th Security Forces. I'm a social studies teacher and a basketball coach, and I've coached on and off at St. Regis for 8 years now. I'm a Christian, I'm a husband to a beautiful wife, I'm a father to 2 wonderful kids, and I'm a critical thinker. And I fully support our Bill of Rights and our Constitution. And I want less government control, I want less government regulation, and ultimately I want less taxation. And this brings me to the reason why I'm running. We currently have a representative in District 90 that has voted to increase the size of government and to increase property taxes on certain individuals. That would be House Bill 231 and Senate Bill 542. Likewise, he voted to increase the state's budget as well, and that was House Bill 2. Additionally, he voted to not allow parents to have a choice in their children's education, which was House Bill 320. And that's near and dear to my heart because I have 2 little kids that I would like to decide the future of their education. And this comes from somebody who teaches at a public school. So ultimately, I would not be running for office if we had a representative in District 90 that was truly conservative. And if elected, I promise to use my vote to defend your liberties, your money, and you. I want smaller government, lower taxes, personal freedoms for us and our posterity. And if you believe in that and what our country and our state was founded upon, vote for me, please. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Durbin Williams. It is my honor to be sitting between these rock stars. I'm also running for House District 90. I met both of these gentlemen in our last campaign for Senate. I respect them both very much. I appreciate you bringing those points. I want you to know one of the issues they're starting to flirt with is also sales tax. And one of my concerns, and I am not for that, just so you know, and I think it's going to be an interesting conversation that's coming that we need to be paying attention to. So anyway, I live in Houston. I'm on the West Valley Community Council. I have lived 27 years in Montana just because it matters to you, and the rest in Kansas. Good news, nobody's ever threatened by Kansas. That's actually what helped me build my business. I own Mismo Gymnastics in Missoula. I built it from the ground up. I've been in business 25 years. I'm proud to say as a small business owner that I refuse to sell out to an equity firm. And I'm also deeply concerned about equity firms purchasing our small businesses in Montana. There's just a lot of things coming. Another one is data centers and AI. I attended the event in Bonner. I'm also worried about digital currency and microsurveillance and some other issues. So I'm not as much as interested in talking about my past as I am our future. Cochran gave me some grief when I walked in and said, what are you guys doing? You don't have time to run a business. For the record, he was messing with me, by the way. For the record, most of us in Montana still run small businesses, and we need to keep that alive. So, thank you.
Hello, I'm Curtis Cochran. I'm the state representative for House District 90. Frenchtown, Huson, 6 Mile, 9 Mile, Petty Creek, Alberton, Tarkio, Lozo, St. Regis, Superior, Hagen, DeBorgia, Saltese, and Paradise, Montana. That's our district. 11,000 people. The state representative, there's 100 districts in the House. There's basically, the just restructures, there's basically 11,000 people in each district. And I was elected in 2024, 7 years old, born and raised in Montana. Do I get to rebut what my other guy said now, or is that later? Yeah. I've got some paperwork here on House Bill 231 was the property tax homestead exemption. In 2024, I wasn't in the legislature. The governor had a property tax task force. His property taxes from 2020 to 2024, our appraisals rose, our house property values rose 60%. 60% in 4 years. We were getting taxed out of our homes. The most vulnerable citizens in Montana were the elderly and the young families. That was the #1 deal. We had it, and that's what this House Bill 231, the homestead exemption, is the only bill that came across the floor to lower residential property taxes, and I voted yes. I was not going to be the legislator that voted no. And our budget was balanced. We have a constitutional amendment in Montana. We have to have a balanced budget. I've got figures here from the Legislative Fiscal Division. Our budget rose 0.7%, not 13% like some groups will be telling you. That's just not true. You can look it up yourself. Legislative Fiscal Division, you'll get the budget numbers. Anyway, I'm running again. To be honest, I was pretty naive going in with the raw politics in Montana. And as a freshman, I got to. Okay. Anyway, I'm running for re-election. I want to vote Republican. It's the Republican primary. Let's keep our state rep. Thank you.
Thank you for hosting this event. My name is Nick Sheedy, and I'm running for Montana's 1st District for U.S. Congress. I'm on the Libertarian ticket because I think the two dinosaur parties have been, unfortunately, on life support for the last probably 20 or 30 years, and they've been brain dead probably for the last 10 or 15. But I grew up in Big Fork. I graduated high school in 1992, and like so many kids, I went off to college out of state. Graduated from Linfield College with degrees in political science and philosophy and religion. My dad liked to brag that qualified me to have deep thoughts about being unemployed. I did do some postgraduate work to be a history and civics teacher. But life had other plans, and I've worn many hats since then. Was a commercial radio announcer for a while, ran a small forestry contracting company, did some logging, and produced a lot of firewood and fence days. For the past 14 years, I've pursued my passion as a professional genealogist and research historian, and I was the lead genealogist for the PBS television show Finding the Roots for 12 years, 10 seasons. My wife and I were fortunate enough to look around in 2020 and say, where do we want to raise our 4 boys? And I said the Flathead Valley was a wonderful place to grow up, so we moved back to Columbia Falls 6 years ago. Yeah, nearly 6 years ago. And we were very blessed to be there. My sons are 12, 10, 8, and 6. And as a libertarian, I think that we need to look at every law we pass and every federal policy and say, does this improve or does it infringe on our individual liberties? I also think that we need to turn away from these endless undeclared wars, and our servicemen and women who are all volunteers should not be placed in harm's way at a whim without a formal declaration of war by Congress.
I'm a Republican candidate for Congress. It's so fun to be sitting next to Russ here, a Democrat candidate for Congress. We were the only two guys who showed up in Anaconda for the St. Patrick's Day breakfast. Democrats, Republicans, independents, libertarians, all in this room. 20 years ago when we were getting blown up in Iraq, they didn't ask if we were Democrats, they didn't ask if we were Republicans, they didn't ask if we were independents or libertarians. They wanted to kill us all. So God bless every one of you for being in this room tonight and for being here. My name is Aaron Flint. I want to talk to the Republicans because don't believe the fake news. I am so glad we have a Republican primary in this race. There's 4 candidates in this race. I am the Donald J. Trump endorsed candidate in this race, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm a fighter. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel who served in Iraq and Afghanistan and then spent the rest of my career in special operations. And when I came back home to Montana, I got behind the microphone and we continue to fight for these communities every single day. I don't just show up because I want some stupid title to go do some thankless job in Washington, D.C. I show up because my family homesteaded in Iraq. My dad was a bartender at the beer suit who had to chop firewood so he could afford to see my brother and I when it was our time to visit. My mom was a waitress who worked holidays so she could put food on the table. Those are the working families that I'm going to relentlessly fight for because we are going to make the Montana dream affordable again. We're going to keep Montana, Montana. And frankly, we're going to keep America, America. Not only did I get President Trump's endorsement, I want to tell you, I was inducted into the Montana Pro Rodeo Hall and Wall of Fame. Here's why. They said every day when Aaron Flint gets behind that microphone, he fights for our Western lifestyle, our Western culture, and our Western way of life. And I'm going to fight like hell to get your vote to do that every single day in Congress.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Russell Cleveland. I'm running for U.S. House, Montana's 1st Congressional District as well. I'm not the only Russ Cleveland in the crowd. There's a Russ Cleveland on this side. That's my old man. There's a Russ Cleveland on this side. That's my son. Wherever he went, he's probably getting into trouble. But I'm the Russ Cleveland running for Congress. And I'm a coach. I probably coached some of your kids. I'm from right down the road here in St. Regis, so I'm the only congressional candidate running from your county for U.S. House. And I'll tell you why, because Washington, D.C. has forgotten that there's a rural Montana, right? I'm a Navy veteran. I'm a small business owner. I'm a rancher. And those things still matter in this state. More important than anything, I'm a dad. I've got my 2 beautiful daughters sitting here tiny. They promise that they'll keep the time fair. I promise. My wife, my 3 sons are sitting up there, and my other daughter. We've got 6 kids here in Mineral County. And that is why I'm running. My oldest daughter passed away 5 years ago to leukemia. And that's what brought us home to Montana. I've seen the ugliest part of our healthcare system. We received that $300,000 bill for just 1 month of care. Nobody should have to go through that. And that's what we're faced with here in America right now. I'm the only candidate running on individual contributions only. And that matters because we are living in a corporatocracy. Corporate America has bought our country, and the people have to take it back. And the only way that we can do that is to elect candidates who aren't bought and paid for or entering a race with a $1 million super PAC, who aren't endorsed by Donald J. Trump, who's a billionaire and responsible for the problems that we have right now, and who are willing to stand up to the dark money and corruption that we are facing in our politics today. I'm Russ Cleveland. I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ray Curtis, and I will tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up on the Bozeman Pass along Interstate 90, but back when it was 2 lanes. Born in Townsend. I have climbed telephone poles right along the Clark Fork River here for the railroad. I eventually ended up going to the University of Montana on a scholarship and became a teacher, a public education teacher. I'm looking for my public education teacher right there, and a government teacher. And government is near and dear to me. And I think that this evening is so impressive because this is what democracy looks like. Where people from the community come together, where all candidates, regardless of political party, come together, and we talk about the issues. Because here's what I believe, we're not that far apart. What I believe is that we believe in fundamentally the same things. This Constitution that says we have the power, and it flows up, it doesn't flow down. And I put my name on the ballot because after teaching about this document for 40 years, I feel like we've gotten away from some of the fundamental principles that we believe in. Some of the fundamental principles that are in a government textbook. And I want to get us back on the right path. I want us to be united again rather than divided. And I need your help because I'm not asking for any money. I think money has corrupted the system. What I need are citizens to talk about the issues, talk about the candidates they care about, and then act on that. I have faith that citizens can do the right thing. Now, I need to tell you quickly, I put my name on the ballot for Western District Congressperson as a Republican because I believe in the old school Eisenhower Republicans.
Folks, my name is Kimberly A. Persico, and I intend to keep America's promise that our government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. I'm an independent conservative, and I am running for Congress to give the people a choice that is not controlled by a political party. We need a representative who isn't going to be told to vote by someone from Louisiana or New York. We need someone who isn't going to be beholden to big money either. We need a representative who is actually fighting for the people and not for their own hidden agendas. The platform that I represent will be term limits, ending Citizens United, affordability, balanced budget, and protecting our public lands. I believe in compromise and middle-of-the-road solutions to the problems that our country is facing. There's only, let's see. I'm really nervous. There's only one area I'm not willing to compromise on, and that is selling our public lands. I will never agree with that. I will be supporting the best ideas and platform planks from both parties, and I will not be reaching for the fringes of each party. I will represent all of Montanans and not just half of you. I want to make C-SPAN boring again. We can have a country where representatives work together and solve the problems of our nation. We need representatives who are willing to make the hard decisions to balance our budget, solve our immigration crisis, and say no to new wars. I plan on working hard for all of Montanans. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
I got a green flag. I'm Al Shesky, Mineral County. I'm an orthopedic surgeon from Kalispell, Montana. I'm a former state senator for Senate District 6. I'm a former House of Representative for House District 11. And I'm the only candidate that is actually legislative. If you want a good legislator at U.S. Congress, pick one that has done it. Coach Dan Hodge, one of the most winningest track coaches in Montana, said, if you want to run well, run. So, look, I'm ready to go and finish what we started in 2022. In 2022, I was your chosen candidate in the Republican primary for this seat. I lost to Ryan Ziegler by a razor-thin close edge. It took 3 days to hand count Lincoln County to decide who the winner was. So 30 days ago, I didn't even know I was going to run. I didn't. Surprise, 29 days ago, we had a surprise retirement. And here I am running hard. I was asked to run and encouraged to run because I've run for this race before, and I had the ability to put up an infrastructure really quick. So we could run against those that were placed into the system. Look, I'm running on a Montana First platform, and what that means is that I'm going to run for you. Western Montana's #1, and we're going to do legislation through 3 lenses. #1, it's got to be about freedom. #2, it's got to be about our families. #3, it's got to be about affordability. So with all of those things, I hope that tonight, as we go through the issues, that you will see that I know you. And that's why I was your chosen candidate in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Riley Neal. I'm running for U.S. Senate for all of Montana. And thanks to everyone, our host tonight, and for everyone for showing up today. I first moved to Missoula County about 30 years ago to Sealy Lake, where I worked as a chef at the Double Arrow Lodge and Resort. So I have some experience running commercial kitchens. Then that began a life in Montana for me and my family. I married a man who is from 4 generations of Montana and Montanans. And I moved to Livingston, where I founded and ran a weekly newspaper for over 10 years. And my community thought I was fair and objective enough to send me to the Montana State House, where I served on the Montana Water Policy Board, and I wrote Montana's water law. So the last year and a half since I announced my run for Senate, I've been on the ground in nearly every county in this state. And I'm listening and I'm showing up. And what I hear from folks on the ground is they're worried about cost of living, about housing in Montana. They're worried about their public schools, making sure our teachers get paid a fair wage here in Montana. We should have the highest paid teachers in the nation. And I hear about our timber industry. Now, I told you I came from Sealy Lake, so I understand how important our timber industry is to Montana. So I'm on the ground running every single day. My phone number is listed. Anyone can call me directly, send me an email, and I'm happy to chat with any Montanan. We're doubling down on showing up and listening to Montanans and representing Montanans, all Montanans, in the U.S. Senate. I'm working for small government that works for working people and stays the heck out of our business. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Michael Hummert. I'm a realist liberal Democrat running for the United States Senate. I came in 1996 to Montana after I retired from the United States Navy. I did everything in the Navy, from cook on a destroyer to being a hard hat salvage diver. Trained sea lions and dolphins in Key West. Somebody had to do it, I volunteered. So, what I bring to this race is I hope unity. Because the things that need to be fixed in this country can't be fixed by the Democrats, they'd be fixed. Can't be fixed just by the Republicans, or they would have fixed them. We have to come together. Otherwise, we can't get the 3/5 we need for the amendments that we need to fix this government. We owe the next generation more than just a handful of excuses. We owe them a future, just like we have. Therefore, we need to get something like a balanced budget amendment, term limits, even age limits. I'm not going to say Donald Trump is losing it, but there is that possibility that he's not as stable as he used to be. So I'm just asking for your vote to send me to the United States Senate so that we can make a difference together, because we can't do it alone. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alani Bankhead. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel and special agent. I've hunted terrorists with special operations. So, you know, the people in movies with briefcases full of money, and then they meet with informants in secret and they get intelligence. That's what I used to do. I've hunted spies all over the world, but my specialty is actually child sex trafficking and child rape cases. I was also a senior Pentagon bodyguard, so I've been in all the rooms on Capitol Hill and the White House and the most senior levels of international government. The only difference between those elected officials and us is that they think they deserve to be there, and we don't. They're no better than you or I. And I'm a 3rd generation service member. My family has served this country going as far back as World War II. Everybody in my family is either military or law enforcement or both, down to the dog. My Police K9 Lou, who recently retired, she finds child pornography evidence and protects kids from cyber sex crimes. My husband was one of the first people in Afghanistan after 9/11. I'm not a politician. Nobody asked me to run. I just saw my community struggling to put food on the table and a roof over their heads. And my parents taught me that when your community is struggling, you do something to help them. What makes me different from the other candidates in my race is that I've already put a lot of corrupt people in jail over the last 22 years. And I have the relationships in and out of DC with the people who put their nose to the grindstone to protect all of you to get results for this community. I'm running on accountability. The Epstein files, we're going to address that. I'm running on affordability. I know how to address affordable health care and housing, and we're going to take it from the defense budget with no impact to national security. We're going to protect our public lands, we're going to protect our environment, we're going to support our farmers and ranchers, and we're going to do it together because I've been to over 80 countries, I've lived in over 20 states because I've served this country my entire life. There's no place like Montana that has the leadership skills anywhere I've seen in the world. I'm asking you for my vote. Thank you so much. I'm Alani Bankhead running for U.S. Senate.
My fellow Montanans, I'm Kyle Austin, candidate for United States Senate. You're going to find me on the Libertarian ballot, and you're probably like, well, why is this guy on the Libertarian ballot? Well, I've been a lifelong Republican. My grandfather was a lifelong Republican. And with the dysfunctional Republican Party, I felt it was appropriate this year to run on the Libertarian ballot to give conservatives in our state a choice. So this primary election, it's very important that you vote on the Libertarian ballot and vote for Kyle Austin for the United States Senate. Now, a little bit about me. I was born, I'm not a career politician, okay? I was born on the High Line. I was raised on a farm. I farm and ranch. I went to the University of Montana where I got my doctorate of pharmacy degree. From there, I practiced pharmacy for the last 18 years where I owned Farm 406 in Billings and Butte. Okay, so now I'm running for the United States Senate. You're like, well, why? Well, this is why. DC needs a businessman, okay? A businessman that understands the government overreach, the government corruption, the waste, the wasteful spending. We need to cut that. We also need to reinforce our borders. Healthcare is a big concern for everybody, no matter if you're Republican or Democrat. So as a pharmacist for 18 years, my plan is Healthcare 2.0. We're going to overhaul the entire healthcare industry. We're going to get rid of the wasteful spending. We're going to consolidate it, and we're going to run it like a business. Agriculture. Agriculture is a big issue in eastern Montana. Maybe not over here, but in eastern Montana it is. We have to address that before our farms and ranches dry up completely. We will do that by overhauling the USDA. We're going to overhaul that. We're going to build a fertilizer production facility in eastern Montana, putting people to work, bringing industry to the state of Montana, and making us less dependent on the Canadian fertilizer. We're also going to offer 0% financing for our farmers and ranchers on their operating loans. I am Kyle Austin, candidate for the United States Senate, and I appreciate your vote.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Walkenchild. I was born and raised on Hill 57, just right outside of Great Falls. My house consisted of a half of a railroad boxcar. But I'm not going to talk to you about myself. What I am going to talk to you about is leadership, honesty, and integrity. Now, in the beginning was not the Word. In the beginning, He spoke all of us into existence. And that is the truth. Now, I am for absolute less government on both sides, manipulation from both the right and the left. I'm for the small farmers and ranchers. I'm for developing businesses that are not managed by the Democrats nor manipulated by the super rich on the far side. I think we need to bring our timber back, maybe at a small scale. We need to support our ranchers and farmers. We need to build a processing plant here in Montana and start distributing good food in Montana rather than this food being brought into our people in Walmart. I tell the ranchers that they are shepherds of their community, which is true. That's what a rancher is, shepherds of the community. I'm not running for my own self-interest. I'm pro-life.
I just come from a funeral. My nephew was born with a hole in his heart. He was not expected to make it. Well, he lived 25 years. He made it. I'm here for you. And I told his mother, the Creator was in that little hole in his heart. And He's in all of us. And we can do this together by uniting, by recognizing true leadership. I was chosen before I was even born. I was not chosen 5 minutes before closing. Thank you. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask me. Hopefully, I didn't take too much time.
Should Montana Democrats and teachers unions be running campaigns for Republicans? You want to take that first, and then we'll just go down.
It's not for us, that's for you. You know, I think Montanans, we run our own school boards. We locally elect all our own school boards, and our school boards negotiate, you know, with the teachers' unions. So when you have a Democrat or Republican, I'm not convinced that a Democrat or a Republican are the person who would be the people who would.
These are really short. I would remind the candidates and the public that your humble moderator did not come up with the question. 30 seconds.
Citizens United gives everybody the right to organize, and I think that unions should personally stay out of politics. There's a lot of members in unions that don't get a say. They have to put their money into it. And then there's a few people at the top decide whether it's going to be Democrat or Republican that they support. I think that the people themselves should have the answers, and they should make their decisions themselves and not have unions make it for them.
So we talked earlier about bridging the gap between left and right. And I think at the end of the day, what's most important is that we come together to support our children and our education systems, period, dot, end of story.
Well, I'm not Democrat or Republican this year, but I would not let the Democrats run anything for me because, to be honest, anytime they touch anything, they screw it up.
The question was, should Montana Democrats and teachers unions be running campaigns for Republicans?
Well, here's the thing. I think we should keep education out of politics. I wouldn't allow the Democrats to get too far involved in the Republicans. I would like to have them teach true history, and I think that every student, every teacher deserves a salary of $65,000 a year, and that should be standard because they use their money to purchase materials for the kids, and they are vital to our community. So it's an educational system that we need to change. But no, I would not allow any Democrat.
Thank you. So we'll move down the line one and give a 15-second rebuttal, or if you want.
Once again, it comes back to just what the people want. I think that we need to extract these large entities, corporations, unions, completely out of the policies and the picture. So,
thank you. Lonnie?
Education should not be political. Educators are paid at the bottom of the country here, and we need to improve that, and we need both sides to come together to support educators. Kids get quality education that gives them every opportunity and the best possible hope of living their best lives.
I disagree with these guys because businesses have a right and businesses have a voice, and it is a freedom of speech for businesses to also be represented in politics.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Well, ideally, we shouldn't have no unions. If we have healthy, happy teachers, we have healthy, happy students. We just need to focus on the curriculum, math, science, and history, We're being beat all over the world. We're ranked 27th in education. Let's change that.
The answer is no.
This is for the candidates for Mineral County Commissioner. Who controls the PILT monies?
Distributed by Washington D.C. and they are hard to know whether we're going to get them year after year. They have to pass it every year. Sometimes it's 500,000, sometimes it's 800,000, but we are really reliant on it. If that goes away, we're in big trouble.
I agree with him, and it's also the Forest Service.
Yes, PILT comes from the Forest Service. Our standard payment in recent history has been about $600,000 a year. We just hope that it keeps coming because PILT stands for payment in lieu of taxes. We don't get any taxes off the Forest Service property.
You can have a. I don't need that. You don't need one?
I don't need anything.
I will say this, that when we rely on chasing money or depending on the federal government for money, we shouldn't be doing that. We need more business, more industry. We need more of anything that's in the private sector in this county. We got to quit relying on trying to chase money and bring it in.
Thank you.
Well, that's a good dream. But when your county is set up where you're receiving PILT, what do you replace it with?
I agree with you.
Question is for House District 90 candidates. Which of the first 10 amendments to our Constitution do you feel are the most important today? Why? We'll start with Jeff. Stan.
Did you say first the two? Did you say two or one? First, what do you want?
Which of the first 10 amendments to our Constitution do you feel are the most important today and why?
Got it. First Amendment. So there's 5 freedoms in the First Amendment: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to assemble, freedom to petition the government for redress of grievances, and I'm on the spot, so I'm forgetting the fifth. But the First Amendment is arguably the most important, and then the one that follows it would be the Second Amendment. Because without the Second Amendment, government can take away those rights, and history has proven that an armed citizen is much harder to deal with when it comes to things like that. Thank you.
Hi, it's Kelly, and I forgot to tell you that I'm running as an independent, so I just wanted to say that. And I'm grateful to this amazing teacher for sharing his answer, because I would agree that the First Amendment, for me, would be the number one, but for my husband, it would be the Second Amendment, and together it works out pretty nice. What did I say? Freedom of the press? Wait.
That's okay. Please refrain from asking other candidates questions or commenting on their comments. Please. Curtis.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Stanek on the First Amendment. It's one that we really would take for granted. But for me, in our neck of the woods, the Second Amendment is a big deal. I'm a life member of the Mineral County Shooting Sports Association. We do a lot of work. I'm up already.
Not yet.
Keep
going.
Yeah. Number 2 is number 1 with me. Thanks.
You do.
I understood what he was saying now. Freedom of the press. Thank you. He was answering the rest of his statement, and I think we're good here. I really like our Constitution, and I'd like to see us following it.
This isn't as easy as I make it look, folks. Next question is for the sheriff's candidates. What is a Brady cop? What problems does a Brady cop cause? Are you now or have you ever been designated a Brady cop?
All right.
I'll start on the back end. I'm not a Brady cop, nor have I ever been. Brady is off of a Supreme Court decision involving Brady. There's two different cases, one involving Brady and one involving Giglio. Basically, it officially calls in your integrity as a law enforcement officer on duty.
Sorry, I'm not a sitter. So, as probably everybody knows, it's no secret, Judge Bonetta on December 10th made an opinion, mind you, that I personally had some Brady issues, not Brady cop. Since then, my attorney and I have worked diligently. We have a hearing on Monday, and that's going to be reversed. We have documentation proving that I did not lie, and so as far as I'm concerned, I am not.
I understand you hope it's going to get reversed, but as of now, do you have Brady material against you?
Please refrain from asking other candidates questions, please.
It's a debate.
That's only fair for every candidate, please.
No shouting out, please.
So currently it's Mineral County Sheriff's Office policy that you have a body cam on when you come into contact with the public. That would be played anywhere in court, so I don't believe anything restricts me from testifying in court.
15 seconds. Next group is Precinct men and women candidates. Commissioner Zilway, I think I say that wrong every time I say it. And see, I did it again. Roman always says, if at a makeup meeting, he says the common spelling. That doesn't help. Anyway, Commissioner testified against video and audio recording of Commissioner meetings. What is your stance on the public's right to know?
Public has all rights to know everything that happens within their county.
I concur. The public has every right to know everything that goes on.
I also agree that the public has every right to know everything that's going on. And I also have sat in on a few of the commissioners' meetings, and they are not showing everything that's going on. So I think that needs to be addressed.
I agree with everybody else.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a no-brainer that transparency is paramount, and there's no expectation of privacy at a public meeting, and it should be streaming live for those who can't make it because of bad weather or whatnot. So yeah,
I agree with that. It would be nice to be here in person, but the video will answer any questions and open to the public.
I also agree with that. I do believe that if someone has an issue, they should be there in person. They shouldn't have someone representing them that's sitting on the other end of it, but I do believe that we should all have the right to see those meetings.
I agree with the other candidates. I have continuously joined in online now and in person, and there have been issues. So I'd like to see those issues addressed.
That might be the only unanimous agreed item tonight. Does anyone want to rebut those comments? I didn't think so. Congressional District 1. I lost my place. Are you running for district? HD1? Okay. What is your position on Roe versus Wade? We'll start with you.
Wonderful question. I think the Supreme Court made a good decision in overturning Roe v. Wade. I think that it was a poor Supreme Court decision to begin with, and it was based on a premise that you have an unfettered right to privacy, which that's great. Unless you define life as beginning prior to birth. And so I think that ultimately the question about abortion is, when does human life begin, and when does that child deserve to be recognized as a person with legal status?
I'm proud to be pro-life. My wife works for an incredible organization called the Alliance Defending Freedom that has fought alongside the Montana Family Foundation. They've also fought to protect women's sports and to keep men out of girls' bathrooms and locker rooms. They fought for parents' rights. They fought for your kids. And I'm proud to be a pro-life candidate in this race.
Part of federal overreach is when we decide to put politicians in doctors' offices. And I don't want any politician telling me, my daughters, my wife, or anyone else what to do with their medical decisions, period.
I am pleased that the state of Montana, we got an opportunity to vote on this issue, and for the most part, in Montana, it is behind us, and we get to talk about, as I said, the things that I believe we most need to talk about.
I completely agree with Montana's right to privacy, and that it shall not be interrupted or impeded upon by the government. We absolutely do not need the government involved in our medical decisions.
No, I agree with overturning Roe versus Wade. It was unconstitutional. I am pro-life from conception all the way to natural death.
Wrong race, we'll stick with District 1. We'll go to the next person in line to offer a 15-second rebuttal.
Well, I just wanted to go back to the question about which is the most important of the first 10 rights, and it's the Second Amendment. I'm endorsed by the Gun Owners of America. If we don't have the Second Amendment, we can lose all of our other rights and freedoms.
Original question was, what is your position on Roe versus Wade, Russ?
I have no further comments. Stay out of our business.
I do believe in individual freedom, and I cannot make decisions for other folks regarding this issue.
I love babies, but the government does not need to be involved in a person's medical decisions.
As a physician, I again want to emphasize that I believe that life begins at conception, it's scientific, and it ends at natural death.
Does anybody want one more? I'll give us one more on that. So I think the third person, the next person in the line to start would be Russ. We started with you. Russ, did you have anything else to say? Did you have any? I'll give you the opportunity for.
I think with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, we made a good decision there that it goes back to the states. In Montana, we've spoken very clearly here that a woman has the right to choose. And so we need to respect that at the state level. But what it really means is, at the federal level and as a member of Congress, it's not an issue that we need to address. It's not an issue that we need to be bogging down our federal lawmakers about.
Thank you. Will you be available 24/7 if elected?
When I am elected, I will be available as much as I possibly can. I do have a family. I do believe in God, and He has given me a beautiful family of 7 daughters and a husband who is a first responder. And I will be available as much as possible. So, yes, actually.
Well, I've had a business for 18 years, and a lot of these people in this room have my cell phone number. I might be the only insurance agent in Montana that gives out her cell phone number. I answered the phone about 3 hours after I gave birth to help out someone out in the West End, and yes, I am 100% into working hard every day.
Hi. I also agree 24/7 is important, but I also realize, having been in that position, that it's not always possible. There are times that you may miss a call or be unavailable, and that's just part of life. But you have to do your best to be available even when you're away on vacations. I've taken hearings and calls and had to sometimes cut a vacation short to be available.
Would you support a full independent audit of the annual budget?
I believe they do it. I would probably say yes. It's over 200 pages. It's a lot for 5,000 people counting. I just think there's places we can trim, but for sure we should do that from an outside source. Maybe somebody on the less political side would be good.
Absolutely, I agree that we should have an audit for the budget. It is already being done every year though, as of now.
Yes, a federal budget or a federal audit of our budget happens every year. Like I said, we the last 3 years in a row there were no findings. That's a big thing. I call it golden.
I think everyone agreed. Do you want to follow up? Yeah. Actually, it was Deb's turn, I guess. Do you want to follow up? Deb will pass. Do I do anything else? You want to rebuttal to your own comment?
Concerning the budget, it's not a matter of whether it's going to pass an audit. It's what the priorities are. I believe there's places in the budget we can trim, and we can apply to other places. Public safety is one, housing is another. There's a lot of stuff in that budget.
Thank you. Back to the sheriff's candidates. We'll start with Sheriff Funk this time. False, unproven accusations against anyone posted to social media is harmful. What can be done by law enforcement to prosecute this?
Well, first of all, we don't prosecute charges. We bring charges forward. As far as I'm concerned, social media has turned very cancerous, not only in this county, but statewide. People believe they can put anything they want on social media. People will believe it, and they don't understand the ramifications to one's self and to one's family. So I think people need to pay attention to what they're posting and understand that if this was your family, how would you feel?
I do agree with Sheriff Plump's assessment that social media has become quite vitreous. That being said, I do believe that people have the right under the First Amendment to say what they want. However, we need to keep it within decent courtesy.
So I understand First Amendment right, freedom of speech, but you don't have a right to, A, tell lies and make false accusations against somebody and think that's okay. That's happened to me. I won't stand for it, just as I won't stand for anybody to abuse the citizens of this county.
I agree with what he's saying. However, in a world today, smoke shows are out there, and we have to take due diligence to find out what is actually true versus what is actually trying to be shown.
I guess some more apple. So yeah, and everybody can contact me out an open door. Before accusations fly, come to my door and ask me in person.
As sheriff, I will have a monthly meeting. Cameras allowed. Come see me, and let's have a dialogue.
Yes, HD1 again. I can't remember who started last time. Okay, so we'll start here. I'm doing my best, folks. Will you vote to open the congressional sexual misconduct records, unlike your predecessor, Ryan Zucke, who voted against them being open?
Yes, and I would also add to that, I want the Montana Democrat Party to turn back every single dollar that they've gotten from Bill Gates, the Epstein associate, and the entire Gates family, and look at the Montana Democrat Party operatives that are all over the Epstein files. The Montana Democrat Party, tragically, is the party of Epstein.
First of all, that's just not true. Second of all, we have a House, a Senate, and an executive branch that is Republican right now, not trying a single case on this Epstein list. So point your fingers all you want, but they have every opportunity to do it right now. And it starts right here in this county where cases still haven't been tried at the county level, all the way up to the federal level. We need to do our job and protect women, protect little girls, and protect little boys, full stop.
I heard other candidates just a moment ago talk about transparency, and it's time for transparency. It's time to put this issue behind us, and the only way to do that is to release the files and find out if Democrats and Republicans are on there. We don't know, because somebody's hanging on to files and they're not being truthful.
We absolutely need to release the Epstein files. But every other government in the world is looking into how it's affecting their populations, and we are covering it up for ours. It's shameful. We absolutely need to protect our young people for sure. And everybody needs to be prosecuted that is involved in that nightmare.
Returning back to the question, we were talking about the congressional files of misconduct, which can include sexual misconduct. I mean, we just witnessed a young woman staffer burn herself to death out of suicide because being entrapped in a sexual engagement with a congressman. You know, I condemn every Republican, and if there were any Democrats that voted to hide that information, their Congress version of Epstein files, you know what? They got to be condemned. We do believe in Montana in an open and transparent government. It starts with that.
I think absolutely that the files, that the investigation should be open, and not just because you have a few perverts up there who are, doing some hanky-panky, but it goes to the heart of a person's integrity. Because if you engage in sexual misconduct, it's not primarily a sexual crime, it's an abuse of your power.
I think Aaron started this line of questioning. Do you want a follow-up?
Sure. This is just one piece of overall corruption in DC right now. We got to get money out of politics. We got to get corrupt politicians out of their seats, and it starts with this midterm election right here. Look at who is not holding these people accountable right now.
The framers of the U.S. Constitution believed in rule of law. And it is time to realize again that no person is above the law. No one.
Every representative who voted to not release those files needs to be unelected.
Yeah.
Thank you. And as we talk about the rule of law, we need, and what we've heard as a complaint is we have to have the due process of law as well. So we have the rules. Let's now process them equally.
Again, I think that we as the voters have a right to know what our representatives have done to conduct themselves in public office, and if they're abusing their power through sexual abuse, that goes to their integrity, and they will abuse their power in other ways, and we need to have that open up.
15 seconds goes by quick, folks.
3.5 months ago, 51 illegal aliens are arrested in St. Regis, Montana. Meth, fentanyl, cocaine. You can't stand up here and pretend to care about women and girls when you sat silent for the largest human trafficking and sex trafficking operation that took place without open borders that you guys stood silent for. That happened right here, 10 miles down the road. Not a peep.
To the commissioner candidates, is it appropriate for Commissioner Zalway to make demeaning sexual comments during a commissioner meeting? And did I start with Deb last time? Was it Dwayne's turn? Do you remember? I believe it is.
No, it was not. I was in on that myself. It was Roman and I. And there was a recording camera placed on our desk that we were not aware. We were not in session. The session had been adjourned for lunch. And so, no, it wasn't appropriate, but it did happen. We are all human. We're not perfect.
Okay, what did you say, Dwayne?
Please, no questions of other candidates. Please.
You just admitted it. Just answer the question.
Deb, did you want to come? Is it appropriate for Commissioner Zalway, forgive my pronunciation, to make demeaning sexual comments during a commissioner meeting? Mr. Question.
I would say absolutely not. I have nothing else to say.
Well, we did have a closed session and addressed this. I don't know, it's all in the eyes of the beholder what you call demeaning and not. We were joking around, you guys. Yeah.
So we just heard about open access to commissioner meetings. Is there a time in that building when there is something that shouldn't be divulged, when it's already out there? I don't know. If somebody knows what they said, tell us.
I worked in a whole office with nothing but men for the FAA. Sometimes they would joke. Sometimes they said things. You don't take it to heart. It was not a big deal.
All right, the question is, should children of illegal immigrants who are born in the U.S. automatically be citizens?
Well, according to the Constitution, the answer would be yes. According to Donald Trump, the answer probably would be no. There's a lot of debate here. When the amendment was put in place, it was talking about slaves, not illegal immigrants. So it's something that needs to be resolved. And I would say that it's Congress that needs to be taking the responsibility of resolving this question once and for all.
Would have been answered by now for somebody.
We are a country of immigrants, and at the end of the day, the law does say that if children are born here, that they are U.S. citizens, and we're going to continue with that tradition. I believe that every human life has value, and we need to honor and respect that.
It comes down to how you interpret the Constitution, right? But I believe it's Article 8, Section 1 allows Congress to set regulations on immigration. And I go with Trump on eliminating birthright citizenship.
Do you really want my answer? I'm going to be honest with you. This whole world is immigrants. Every child born, no matter where they are, live there. Now, Trump is using Native Americans as an excuse. I'm not sure if you know that. So if he gets away with that BS, I won't be here and I won't be allowed to vote. So where do I go? Good question, right? Well, anyway, I just want to thank you guys for having this. I thank you for your participation. It's beautiful. This is what democracy is all about. Many blessings.
Birthright citizenship is in the U.S. Constitution, and I will always defend the U.S. Constitution. That's the oath I will take as a U.S. Senator.
Just to be clear, I think that birthright citizenship is how we're conducting business right now. But once again, it is open for interpretation. And that's why the Supreme Court's in this position they are in. They should be able to actually tell us
what it actually means. So I'm waiting for their answer.
So I don't know any reasonable person who doesn't believe that everybody should come here legally on every side of the aisle. And at the end of the day, we should not be punishing children for something that they have no control over. We stand with our forces.
Look, we have a problem with immigration, and we have terrorist activity going on where people are coming here, having their kids, infiltrating our rights in the United States. This is the time where we have to have that conversation and stand up and fight immigration.
I'm more concerned about our first generation president and his history. Think about that. I'm more concerned about closing the loopholes in the tax system where he pays 34% of the $3.4 billion that he made since he took office. I'm just using him as an example of the super rich on both sides. So.
Roy Miller, he has a lot of stiff competition tonight. How will you improve the county attorney's office?
All right, since I have no one here to debate, do I get like the 30 and the 15 and the 15? Okay, so part of the problem is communication. There isn't any communication between the county attorney's office, at least in a healthy way, and the sheriff's office, the highway patrol, the attorney general. Communication is the key. Second, we have a really big caseload in this office compared to other counties of our size. Part of that is because cases get filed and they sit. I'm going to prioritize domestic violence, prioritize sexual assault, prioritize felonies involving violence. And I'm not going to have a speeding belt or a seatbelt ticket go to trial. Apparently that happened at some point, and that's ridiculous. So prioritize what needs to be prioritized.
So you don't need to rebut yourself. Okay.
My wife will do that. Yeah.
All right, back to the sheriff's candidates. I believe it's your turn to answer first. Why are our local volunteer firefighters allowed to have their guns with them on them at fire calls? Is there a policy? Who makes that decision? Certainly not a volunteer fire chief. Now, if you need to read that again, I will.
Thank you for that question. That was, I'm not aware of the fire department's policy, and that would be the question for them. As far as I know, I don't think they spoke to the sheriff's office, but I have limited information about this particular policy.
I think as I spoke before at the Women's Central Republican Committee meeting, this is a loaded question, no pun intended. The sheriff's office was never contacted in reference to this. There's no policy. There's a political sham that somebody thought that they could present to me in a meeting that I was going to fall apart at. I didn't. I think there needs to be strict guidelines if there was a policy going forward. And I would contact, of course, Roy Miller at the county attorney's office. We've been in contact, and I think we can have a beautiful relationship going forward.
I'm not necessarily against this, but this is an opportunity to mend relationships and work with our fire brethren to make their lives safer.
So, of course, I've been throwing this a little bit more. I've had conversations with Chief Dodd. We've had great conversations. Allowing another firearm into a situation creates more danger for the public and more danger for the police that are responding. So we need secure firearms, we need firearms training.
Thank you. You have said, I don't know who you is, but you have said that you are running because you don't agree that the justice of the peace should work on cases that they know the parties. In a small town, when you too will know most parties involved, what do you plan to do? I think it starts with you.
Everybody knows everybody here. I think what it runs down to is a personal relationship. If you have a personal relationship with a defendant, or maybe someone in your immediate family has a personal relationship with that defendant, or maybe your clerk has a personal relationship with that defendant, you should recuse yourself.
So there are judicial canons that talk about when you need to recuse yourself. And being in a small town, you can't just recuse yourself. It needs to be in the third affinity or beyond. Having your clerk know someone doesn't affect the decisions you're going to make. It has to be directly to be you as the individual justice of the peace that would have that relationship. You would need to know you just need to stop.
I'm gonna say it. What makes me unique in this situation is I am relatively new to Monroe County. I have no biased decisions towards anybody here.
Wanted to add a little bit to the recusing yourself, because it is something that we are dealing with on a daily basis. That's why you don't see me out in the community as much as I would like to be, because I do take it serious and need to make sure that I am not biased.
Thank you. HG90 again. Incumbent, you claim to have helped the youth. I've seen nothing you have done. Tell us now, what have you done? Jeff, what will you do?
Well, if you're talking about youth and our kids, I'm a staunch supporter of public schools. We passed the STARS Act, the Starting Teachers Pay Plan that the governor came up with. We passed some vocational training money that goes clear down to the junior high level. I guess mainly my commitment to public schools. I mean, this job's been an honor in my life, and
This job is about interrupting people. Jeff?
So as far as what I've done for youth, I've devoted pretty much the last decade of my life in the classroom and coaching. Currently, I volunteer 2 hours every week in the mornings with some select basketball players. And that's not on the clock. It's just because I love those kids and I care about that relationship. As far as plans for the future for helping them, I would definitely have voted in favor of House Bill 320, which is education choice for parents. Thank you.
I've been working with kids for 41 years, so now we're in my sweet spot. But one thing that I do see that I think would help our students immensely is if we were to pass a law that creates an environment where their telephones are secured when they come into the classroom, and there's states doing this now, and they're seeing excellent results from engaging the students. So there's a safe box, it goes in, comes out, and they learn a lot more and they're engaging more, so that's one tiny thing I would do, but there's lots.
Curtis, 15 seconds.
Yeah, well, I've been volunteering with kids since 1982 when my daughter was born. I helped build the St. Regis Park back in the 80s. I volunteered football coach. In fact, it was a paid position. I donated all my pay back to the school back in those days. And 15 seconds is up.
That's what that red sign is for, folks. Thank you.
So the good news is St. Regis School District, we voted to not have phones in the classroom, so that's awesome. But that's a school board decision and not a state decision. As far as House Bill 320, that was a really, really important one for all you parents out there, because it was going to allow you to make a choice for your kids where they go to school, homeschool, private school, public school. Thank you.
There's some nuance to that as well, that the money can follow students in special education who need extra services that perhaps the school can't provide, so that is helpful that we need to explore. And then the other one, as far as private school, I wasn't in support of charter schools. I worked in one. Goodbye.
Okay. Why do you want this role? What do you stand for?
I want this role because I have 22 years of documented experience in getting results for the most vulnerable. I'm a protector of people, and I hate bullies. And when I'm elected to the Senate in January, we're going to be coming back and bringing the resources to Montana because you all deserve to thrive. That's the American dream.
Why do I want the role? Well, it's been a dream of mine to represent the state of Montana, and as I get older, I get more conservative, and I see our government going in the wrong direction, where now we have $39 trillion in debt, and it just keeps going up. Our agricultural industry keeps going downhill. No one's fixing it. I want to step up, make a difference, fix it, and represent all Montanans across the board. Thank you.
Why do I want this? Because it's my calling. I see the social paradigms and I see how to fix them. I'm not going to do a song and dance. I already have bills that are being developed right now that I plan on introducing.
Good leadership knows that the repository of power is in the people. And I want to serve the Montana people as their representative.
This wasn't a dream of mine, but I see the shape our government's in right now. And if somebody doesn't stand up and bring us together and quit letting them generate all this noise to divide us and let us look at the signals that are coming at us, like we need a balanced budget, we need term limits, we need a change in this country. Democrats can't do it by themselves, and Republicans can't do it by themselves. We have to come together and we have to develop a plan for the children.
We are a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and we have to work together. We need to inspire each other to be the solution that we all need. That's what Montana does better than any other state in this country.
Well, if you're tired of the Democrats screwing up our country and you're tired of the diverse Republicans right now, it's time to vote Libertarian, vote Kyle Austin in the United States Senate. Thank you.
Charles, 15 seconds. He's passing. Do you want? Okay.
I was being courteous, giving the lady the chance to speak. But what we need to do is fire up our engines again. That means lumber. That means, even at a small scale, bringing back jobs, preparing our communities. I'm going there for you and not me. I greatly appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, this is Justice of the Peace candidates and Commissioner candidates. And
Commissioners too.
It says the clerk and recorder candidate was invited but is not here. I can't remember who else. It's your turn. Okay. Candidates, do any of you have any personal, family, or business relationships with the county's main election judge or election staff? If yes, please disclose it and explain how you will ensure the election process remains fully impartial.
I guess I'm not sure who the whole staff is. My daughter-in-law's sister works for the clerk and recorder as part of the election staff, but I don't know that that would impact any kind of impartiality or any kind of issues.
I will go just right down the line here.
No.
Oh, I think we might have lost the mic.
No.
Absolutely, I do. My daughter works for the clerk and recorder, and she said she would not be able to vote or count or vote for me. She can't count any of my races.
No, I do not have any.
Absolutely not.
I'm not related to anyone, but I don't have any concerns with any relatives upsetting our elections.
That was a longer question than the answers. HD1, Anna? And I can't remember who started the last time. I think it's your turn. Yes or no, have you ever been held accountable for violating campaign finance rules?
That's an easy no. I have never done this before, and I didn't anticipate that I would be doing this, and I won't be in that trouble because, as I told you before, I'm not taking money. I'm looking for votes. Thank you.
No, I'm not taking any money either.
The answer is no, but I am taking money. You can go to alphamontana.com.
The answer is no, but I am accepting the donations, although I don't have any way to accept those unless you want to hand me a check or cash. However, I do think that we need to rein in how non-live persons can donate money to and try to influence elections.
I'll tell you what I did. I got elected student government president at the University of Montana, and I fought the left-wing dark money special interests there, and I stood up to them there, and that's what we've got to do. If we want to make Western Montana, Montana, and keep it Montana, we've got to fight back against these special interests. So I was proud to stand up for free speech at the University of Montana.
No, first of all, one of my 3 pillars is ending corruption, which is specific to campaign finance. Our corporatocracy has pumped billions of dollars into our campaign finance system. I was the first candidate to endorse the Montana Plan, which is an independent, nonpartisan ballot initiative that is aimed at getting money out of politics right here in Montana, because corporations, I don't believe, are individuals, and we need to limit their rights on spending billions and billions and billions of dollars in our election.
I'm pleased to hear the other candidates, most of the other candidates, talk about their concerns about money in elections.
I'm currently gathering signatures for the Montana Plan to keep corporate money out of our elections.
The answer again is no, and if you want, you can donate money to alphamontana.com.
One thing I think we should do at the federal level to address Citizens United from 2010, and then in 2012, the 1912 Montana Corrupt Practices Law was overturned as well through a federal law. And what we should do is don't allow anybody to contribute unless you are eligible to vote in the United States.
Thank you. Mineral County, when are we going to talk timber and mining? Look at the biggest influence in dark money right now are foreign influencers, billionaires. They funded the No Kings protests. They funded the chaos in LA. They funded the chaos in Minneapolis. They're funding these far left groups that are putting your kids out of work here in Western Montana.
That's ironic coming from the guy that's taking $1 million from a super PAC, which is dark money flowing into this very election. So, I won't take money from PACs, any of them, on individual contributions only, and I've refused endorsements from politicians because they too have some questions to answer.
We're going to have to go down the line.
I appreciate being able to respond because a few things I just heard are absolutely not true. And we need truth from our elected officials.
I will always tell the truth.
alphamontana.com.
You know, corporations, super PACs, political committees, they do not have unfettered rights, like the Supreme Court wanted to say they can have the right to free speech. They cannot vote. So if these entities that could be considered persons cannot vote, we can restrict their influence in our political elections.
I'm going to talk you through, my friend. It's a hard time.
So these Democrat candidates will do this all the time. They'll pretend to reject PAC money, and what do? They benefit from it 2 times over. Look at how much more money they spent against Brian Zinke the last go-around. So it's phony. They're going to flood the state with their left-wing dark money. And by the way, if you were $300,000 in debt from your last failed campaign, you'd say your website 4 more times too.
Again, individual contributions only. It's all reported to the FEC. You can see every single contribution. For $300,000, averaging $27 a donation from people just like you, because we need to restore representation of the working class and not take any more money from corporations.
Back to the precinct committee, folks. I think I started at the end last, is that right?
Yeah, right.
If a PC candidate has a YouTube video of them making derogatory comments towards women, do you feel they possess the moral character necessary for this position?
Absolutely not.
Like these dancers, they're very.
As a woman, I would definitely not want them to be saying derogatory comments towards a woman.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a no for me. That's a no.
No. Sorry, Steve was asking me a question as you were asking me a question.
If a PC candidate has a YouTube video of them making derogatory comments towards women, do you feel they possess the moral character necessary for this position?
Absolutely not. I'm a mother of 7 daughters, and I wish you would.
Doesn't sound like there's much disagreement among your precinct folks for that. I'm assuming no rebuttal.
Oh.
I agree.
Gonna be so. I'm so sorry. So I just want to make a little announcement. So we did, we scheduled till 9 p.m. We do have the gym if we want to continue, but we may have some candidates that cannot stay. I do not want it held against them if they have to leave. So I think that's important to say. If they need to go, we have folks that have traveled really far to get here tonight. We will continue if you guys want us to until we have about 20 more questions. So we're probably looking at another 30 or 40 minutes. So it's entirely up to you guys, whatever it is that you want to do. But we will go ahead and continue. So for those of you that can stay. Another thing that I do want to add, every single candidate was invited tonight. So these are the ones that showed up. But I did average 13 contacts with every single candidate. So those candidates that are not here, it's not because they were not invited to be here.